Man, I gotta change that intro, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta change that intro. But good evening, everybody. What's up, fellas? We got some talking to talk about today, ladies and
Man,
gentlemen. Yes, we
Yeah, we
do.
do.
Nothing but Raiders podcast. I gotta fix this. I'm just coming off my other show, so don't
you've
mind
been
me.
working, bro. You've been working, man.
I've
Salute to
been
you.
listen, I've been working the best way that I can. But we gonna have an action-packed show tonight, man. Episode 24 of Nothing But Raiders podcast. We have my boy Leo in the building to my right. I think my right or my left of me, or depending on what it is. And then we got Chris from Protect the Shield podcast in the building. And my boy finally on here, AK from the RWO Raiders World Order. What is going on, fellas? How y'all feeling this evening, man?
Chilling,
Good,
bro.
man.
Chilling.
But I'm a little
Good, man.
anxious, man. I know what we're gonna talk about, so I'm in my feels right now. I'm in my feels.
Yeah, he don't
Listen,
want to hear
I
the
got
words
some.
running back
I got
by
some new
committee.
things for y'all. I don't know if y'all saw my Darian Hopkins show, but I'm bringing Raiders trivia to y'all tonight.
Ooh,
I don't,
okay.
don't.
Bring y'all some Raiders trivia. So it's some old school trivia. So definitely for the people that's actually watching, make sure y'all in the building for it. Make sure in the building for it. Make sure y'all hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel. And make sure y'all follow all these guys on social media. The links are in the description here. But I didn't really read into the whole Josh Jacobs thing that happened today. So somebody needs to help me out on what happened, saying that he's going to be holding out till week one. Because I'll tell you, I took a massive nap. I was gone from the world. I woke up like, oh snaps, I gotta do my show at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So
I think
who
somebody's
all had
opinion,
the
right?
info with the Josh
Yeah,
Jacobs thing?
it's just opinion, bro.
Yeah,
I
just
haven't
somebody's
heard that.
opinion.
Yeah, it's just like with everything else right now. Like, oh, he's gonna hold out, or oh, he's gonna get traded, and yeah.
So
Probably the same.
Y'all feel like Josh Jacobs is going to hold out till week one, though? Y'all think is that possible?
I don't think so. I don't think he will. I think they'll come to some kind of agreement. I really think they're waiting on Barkley, and Barkley and the Giants seem to be getting closer. So once they figure out with Barkley, then that'll set what JJ will get also. Yeah.
So AK, I know you've been in the comments as well. And you know, me, Leo, and Chris had the conversation of how much Josh Jacobs should get as far as guaranteed money. I would love to have your input on it of what you think that Josh Jacobs should get as far as guaranteed money goes.
First things first, Spotlight. Appreciate you having me on the panel. Salute Leo and protect. Sorry, what was your name again? To
Protect
Chris,
Shield.
man. Chris,
Chris,
protect
that's
the
it.
shield. Yep.
Chris.
Yeah, I seen you. Salute. Everyone in the chat. Look, I'm not quite into all the numbers and that, but I do look. I don't blame Josh Jacobs wanting what he earned, and rightfully so. I mean, look, he's never going to get another as good of a chance as now to earn as much money as he can. Like, it's not going to happen, no matter how his career pans out, because he's coming off his rookie contract. He's still young. He's just had an all elite season. So, do I blame the guy for trying to get what he rightfully deserves? No, I don't. I do see him holding out until he gets what he wants. And if he doesn't get what he wants, then I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what the Raiders do about it. But I'm just going to stay in wait and see mode and see how it all unfolds. But yeah, in terms of numbers, whatever. I'm not too sure about that, but he does deserve what he should earn. Whether it's us, whether it's somebody else is going to pay him, time will tell. But yeah, I'm just going to have to wait and see.
You know what, AFK? You bring up a good point. I didn't think about it till you just said it. This is going to be the only chance for the bag because running backs don't get multiple contracts. After that rookie year, they get that one, and then after that, they're considered old and washed. I mean, look at what's happening with Cook and those other fools right now.
Derrick
Henry, Elliott, all those dudes. Yeah.
Well, I think
he's only 25.
I think he's going to stay, but he was on the trading block though for Tennessee, and I think he deserved, rightfully so. I think he needs to go to a team that's going to win. Tennessee's just not in a winning mode right now for them. But for me, for Josh Jacobs, saying that he might hold out until week 1. I'll say giving him 9.5 guaranteed. I think that's lowballing.
Yeah, the tag is 10.
Oh
tag
yeah,
is 10. So why give him
Ain't doing
9.5?
no.
You know what I'm
Yeah, that
saying?
ain't.
So that's kind of lowballing for me. But for if I want to really like actually look at the numbers, I mean, giving him 12, I think that's reasonable just because of our cap space. But if we did have more money, I would say, up to 14. But it really depends on what our cap space is going to look like and what type of money and how many years that we're looking at as well. So it's going to, but 9.5 in his franchise tag is.
Oh no, that's not even
That's not even.
Yeah,
I think
he's gonna laugh
he'll
at
hold
that.
out majority of the
Yeah,
season
he'll
if they're
laugh
trying
at
to offer him 9.5.
Right.
Right. Let's just be serious there. So all this stuff been coming out about Josh Jacobs, the bad business tweets and stuff like that. I'm hearing all over Twitter and all of that nature how he's blocking a lot of the people on Raider Nation and responding. I know Leo, you sent us something in the group chat about him, responding. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, I did.
He responding to Raiders fans.
Well,
let us
you
know more
why?
about that though.
So I looked into. Remember, he sent the whole tweet about bad business. So
Right.
it turned out afterwards it wasn't about the Raiders. It was about a sponsorship and endorsement deal he had with another company, and the business went bad. But the nation all took it as bad business with us. So when you read it, that's when Josh Jacobs says, y'all need to stay out of stuff you don't know about, because he was getting tired of people coming at him for not signing the franchise tag or for wanting more money, calling him, that he was money hungry, that he wanted the bag, he doesn't care about the team. Like, and in Josh Jacobs' side, like I'm with him on that. Like, y'all don't know what goes on behind closed doors, How much are they really offering me? Are they offering me anything? But he never once did say Raiders. All he said was bad business. And the way that it is now in social media, the nation, we take that and we run with it. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we were saying Jimmy G was never going to play again because of his foot, right? Everybody just gets so wild when they hear shit like that. So it's the same way. So when they saw that he was blocking people and telling people to stay, like, I can see it's hard for them, the athletes nowadays, with so many people like having access to you, and just talking about you without really knowing what's going on, bro.
And what's crazy to me, and I'm gonna say this to the Raider Nation because y'all know I don't sugarcoat nothing. Just because Josh Jacobs was at a baseball game in Baltimore doesn't mean that he's going to the Baltimore Ravens.
Right? Or
we need to stop this in our nation. We really need to stop this. It's getting on my nerves. Like that everything that Josh Jacobs do, y'all run with it and try to throw it on YouTube for views. It's BS.
Yeah. Or even when he did that video of him squatting, everybody was talking about the logo of the gym. That he was in Tennessee.
Tennessee. Like, come on.
I'm like, damn, y'all worse than like some of the. Oh my lord.
Like, come on, y'all pushing the narrative at least too much now.
Yeah,
like, y'all trying to do anything to get an article out there or get a view out there or just try to get retweets and likes and stuff like that.
Which I think people do. Yeah.
Stop with the madness, though. Stop with the madness. If you don't have a reliable source stating that, then don't post it.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Well, I mean, we are in the off season, so people get desperate to kind of put out content. So
it gets bad.
As they see one little hint of something that they can push a narrative, they're going to push it out there and say this, that, and the third, just for the sake of having a video to post it on because nothing's really shaking.
What's another word for desperate? I would love to know because it's more than desperate at this point. I think it's depressing.
Yeah,
I think it's depressing.
We're in June, almost coming on July. People need something to talk about. Like right now, today, all I've seen today is about that article with Derek Carr, in New Orleans and how now all that stuff's coming out.
I was going to talk about that next. Though. I have the article from Raiders Wire talking about the reason of coach of the failures of of the last 9 years for the Las Vegas Raiders. So it states that he blames the turnover of coaches, and it's been many of times that I've said anything. But before we get into that, I just want to, salute the chat real quick. Shout out to OG Raider. Shout out to JB. Shout out to Queen Raiderette, Anthony Estrada, B. Al, Papa T,
Anthony.
MC Raider. Shout out Ray Love. Shout out to
Ray,
all
that's my
y'all. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. I really do appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hitting that like button and share the live as well. Daniel Mora, what's going on? I just seen you just comment as well. But we talking about Derek Carr. I don't know why we still talking about him. I mean, he's moved on. He's with the New Orleans Saints, but they've like you said, they find anything to write about.
Yeah.
And I said this over the last couple of years, and I said this for Derek Carr. People want to blame Derek Carr for everything that went on with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the reason why we were losing. But I mean, he has a point, but then again, he got to take some blame too. I'm one of those guys. I was an advocate for Carr, but when I criticized him when he played like shit, I criticized. I wasn't no Derek Carr fan that made an excuse for him at all. And shout out to 24 Graphics as well. Shout out to you. You gave me a decent Bo Jackson throwback jersey that's going to be posted on TeePublic tonight. So make sure y'all go check out that Bo knows version of Nothing But Raiders podcast merch there as well. But this is what was stated. According to Levi Damien, which is a reliable source. I do follow him on Twitter, but he was on Raiders Wire. But this is a long behind article, which I'm not going to read, but I am going to say some quotable things that he did say in here. And he said that this is a quote unquote, this is the first quote that he says. He said, if you win more games and you keep being productive, you stay there forever, according to the Fresno Bee, as what he says. But we didn't win enough games, and that's the kind of stuff that happens with all the turnover of coaches, with all different things. Eventually, the last guy in the room is usually going to be out at some point. And that really what happened. I've survived about 20 coaches, and that's how it goes, and it is what it is. So he goes on to say, let me see if there's another quote here from him. But how do y'all feel about when he said that? And this is what he stated as well. He said, I was very upset. I was mad. Carr said of the benching of the final 2 games of the last season. You spend 9 years in the place and you have the records and you can play at a high level. And for something to get in the way, whether it was whatever reasons, money related or whatever injury related, I would have said, I don't even want the money. Just to play 2 more times in front of our fans. I didn't get that opportunity, so definitely it lit a fire under me to keep going. Then he goes off to say that once they made my wife cry, that was pretty much over, he said. Once they made her cry, that was out. But the love for my teammates was probably I have what made me do it. But the way it worked out in time of things, I just was like, it was time for me to move on. But who knows? You never know what would have happened. So they are the 3 quotables that he said in this article. What are your thoughts, Leah? I'm gonna start with you first.
You know what?
You first, man. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Like it all comes with perception, right? How far you've been following the story. If you follow the story, you only read this article, it's only blame on the Raiders and what happened.
Yes.
A few months ago, there was another article where he took the blame. I didn't give my all. There was so much going on. You have to follow it all along to get the whole thing. But to only catch like that part, and of course you're going to be like, well, fuck him, do that. Look, I'm a fan of him. I told you that right now. I was a fan of him when he was our quarterback. He's no longer here. I'm with Jimmy, whatever. I was in my fields this morning. I made that little Derek Carr video as a joke that I miss him. But look, at the end of the day, look at the facts, though. He was here 9 years. Our team as an organization has been failing for more than 9 years.
That's true. Good point.
Over 20 plus, bro. I'm 45 years old. I'm the one probably who remembers when we won a Super Bowl because I saw it. Everybody else doesn't, right? And you can't blame that all on just him. You know? That's not just him. That's the whole organization as a whole. You know, did he have his faults? Absolutely. There are games where I was like, bro, what the hell are you doing? That Charger game, you know, where he threw those 3 picks. Like, bro, what are you doing? The Pittsburgh game, right? And I saw the downfall at this year after the Pittsburgh game. I was like, that's it. He's done. I was pissed he didn't get to play the last 2 games. I would have loved to see him play the last 2 games, but then we were told because they want to see what they have. They put in Stiddy. We didn't even keep Stiddy. You know, we all thought, okay, cool. They're doing that. I think my whole frustration with the car thing was them actually not having a plan of what they were going to do next. And that was an organizational thing. Because even though he was here 9 years, we never had a who was going to be next thing because they always relied on him. And that's an organizational thing. That's not a Derek Carr thing. He did what he could with what he had. He had good games. He had good years. 2016. We talked about the other day. If you could bring back one Raider, who would it be? I said fucking 2016 Carr because that's how good he played that year, you know? But I think you just have to follow the whole story to get it all instead of just taking caps from here like, oh, he made my wife cry or like, oh, it's their fault. When a month ago, he admitted it was all my bad, you know? I didn't give it all.
I feel like, and I'm going to let Chris go next, but I think he's taking both sides. I think he's blaming himself for how he did things, but he's definitely not going to put all the blame on himself.
Right.
He's going to take his accountability and his responsibility, how he played when he was here and how things were when he was here. But he's definitely going to let it be known, like it wasn't just me. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole intake on it. But Chris, I would like to hear your thoughts on this, though.
So, Carr, I rooted for him all 9 years. I had his jersey. You know, it's well documented videos of me cheering the man on, even last year. However, I'm always Raiders first. You know, that's why I made this, you know, my platform, Protect the Shield. You know, I have to put the Raiders first. I just think it was time to move on from him. Do I hate Carr? No. Will I make fun of him sometimes? Yes. Is he the worst quarterback in the world? No. But at the end of the day, he can't get us to where we need to go unless he has everything around him, like similar to what Matt Stafford had when he went to the Rams. Right. Now, if we had all that, Carr would be the perfect guy because he can come in, plug and play. That's why he might be successful in the Saints because they have a lot of talent around him. But I don't think he will, though. But going back to everything that he said, I'm calling cap on all that stuff because he could have took. I mean, he made comments about, you know, making sure he's going to get his money, you know, not taking a real hometown discount. So that's all cap talking about. I don't care about the money. That's not it. But what pisses me off out of all that is why does it take for them to bench you for that fire to be lit? How come that fire wasn't lit earlier in the season? How come that fire wasn't lit, you know, years ago? That's what gets me about him, man. It's just like, you know, now he has this motivation out of nowhere. And again, yeah, he was pissed off. His wife was crying, whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't care, man. You got to play the game. And then if you are benched, be honorable with it. Hold that clipboard and help Stiddy out. Put on the headset, help Stiddy, tell him what you're seeing on the sideline, just like Stiddy does for you. Just like who was the other quarterback? Whoever our third string quarterback
Chase
was.
Garbers.
Yeah, just like them guys help you prepare every week to get ready. You need to do that for them, man. You know, getting on your little getting pissed off and going home and taking your ball with you, that's unacceptable, man. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. You know, people try to act like the Raiders sent them home. They didn't because they're not allowed to.
Right.
You know, but that's me, man.
So AK, what's your thoughts on this whole article that came out about what Carr's saying? I mean, you heard from all three of us. So you know, what's your thoughts on this, man?
I saw little excerpts from the article just before when I was trolling on IG. Look, I'm sure he has his perspective about how things went down. At the end of the day, look, I've always supported him, much like you guys. I mean, now that his career is over with the Raiders, I would rather look back and I appreciate the good things that he did rather than look at how it ended. With that said, was it time to move on? In my opinion, yeah, it was. I mean, we needed. I said it all along. Even I supported Carl all the way. I always believed in him. We needed him to be great last year, and he just wasn't. It's been 9 years. I didn't like how it ended, but it was the right time. We moved on, and now that he's not here anymore, good luck to him. All the best, but I don't care. He's not a Raider anymore. We've moved on. You know what I mean? I only care about, okay, what's the answer now? Is Jimmy G the answer? Do we have the answer on our roster as it stands, or are we gonna, have to go back to the drawing board and possibly look at further options? I don't know. Time will tell. And you brought up a good point, Leo, is that like we never really had a backup plan. No. I mean, I would have ideally liked us to, in the last since 2016, we've only drafted, well, even going back as since he's been in the door since 2014, we've only drafted one guy while he was on our roster, and that was Connor Cook. You know what I mean? We didn't have a young guy who was an incumbent or someone who at the very least could be a decent backup at best. Like if it didn't work out with Derek Carr, someone we've groomed that can possibly be the guy moving forward. We didn't do that. I mean, we brought in Marcus Mariota and we brought all these other young guys in, but we never drafted anybody outside of Connor Cook, and we missed pretty badly with him. So, as far as what he's saying, what his perspective is, whatever, to be honest, don't really care. It's about, okay, what's the plan now? What are we going to do? We've got Jimmy G. Yeah. Is he the guy moving forward? Only time will tell.
But the thing with Carr, though, the thing is, he's not a bad guy. But at least for me personally, I tend to fire back at some of the stuff just because his fans, and I'll say his fans, not Raider fans, but his fans get so annoying with it because they literally put him on a pedestal over the Raiders themselves.
Oh no, never, bro. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what gets on my nerves because they think anyone who doesn't agree with them about Carr, that we're Carr haters. I'm not a Carr hater. At the end of the day, I'm a Raider fan, so I care about that more than anything else. At the end of the day, that's where we're at, man. It's just like I'm very critical of him. Anthony, he said it. I don't like calling them that, but those fans are, I mean, they really cause a divide, man, because a lot of people who they say are Carr haters, we're not Carr haters, we're just Raider lovers.
Yeah. But whatever side of the coin you're on, like, why do we care now? He's not here anymore.
Exactly.
Let's I don't even like it, unless I need to talk about, like, I'm on your podcast now with, it's a relevant topic because you brought up the article, but you know what I mean? Like, I've always supported Derek Carr, but at the same time, I don't care. He's not here anymore. I only care about who have we got? What's the plan now moving forward? And how's it going to shake with, with whoever we roll with? Whatever Carr does from here on out.
I get it with y'all saying, and I understand he's not a Raider anymore, but I think this is just a repeated situation for me, because if you notice, a lot of Raider players, former Raider players that's no longer here, finally able to speak up about how they felt about the organization after they left, because I think the organization was not allowing them to speak how they wanted to speak. And I think this is just another situation for Derek Carr. Like, if you look at all the former players that came through here that played with John Gruden or played with Josh McDaniels the year before, you see Darren Waller finally speaking up about how he felt about being with the Raiders after being traded to the New York Giants, because he could not speak the way he wanted to speak in this Raiders organization. So I feel like it's just not a Derek Carr thing. I think it's a former Raider thing that they want us to keep our mouth shut and say what they want them to say instead of them speaking the truth. And I feel like now is about that time for them to speak their truth so they could move on as players as well.
But that I get, though, because a lot of the times I want a type of team that keeps everything in house, not fucking shit all out there. You know what I mean? Like, if you hear about it afterwards, like, I'm cool with that. Like, even with when Chris did his interview with Hugh, like, I was so interested in seeing it because I knew now he could talk about that
real stuff,
because he wasn't part of the organization of everything going on anymore. That's why with this next one that you're doing, I want to hear that again, because now you have that opportunity to.
From a player standpoint.
I'm just saying at the podium. I'm just saying, like, if you at the podium after a game and if you can't call out a player if they play like shit, you're not allowed to do that in this Raiders organization. Like I just feel like with certain things that you say at the podium to light a fire under somebody's ass, you gotta call them out on their bullshit.
Is that going to do with the
that's
podium
not the
or
platform
in-house
to do
in the
it,
locker room?
I mean,
that goes on in the locker room, not the podium.
I don't know if it's not. I don't know even if it was a locker room thing. I don't know, but for me, from what I've seen from other sports, some people get in interviews and talk about, oh, my team played like this. And we need to play better, and we have to call them out on it. Like, I don't want to switch over to basketball, but Marcus Smart did that when he was down 3-0 against the Miami Heat, and look how they end up, getting back into that series after Marcus Smart put a fire under his team's ass. Maybe Carr was not allowed to do that. Maybe other teammates was not allowed to do that. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Do you remember Divine Diablo did that after that Chiefs game 2021?
Yeah,
and he was a rookie at the time.
It was real, and that's when I respect
but you
him.
have not heard that from him in the last 2 years, though.
But no. I mean, I think what you're talking about, guys can do that. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, we got to play better." I mean, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot. But what I don't like, and I think what Leo was saying, don't call no one out by name, like you know what I'm saying, like man, Devontae, you sucked that game, or Devontae got to do better. Now, if you're saying, hey, we play shit as an offense, we play like shit, then okay, that's cool. Yeah, but you gotta, I mean, hold everybody accountable. But like, if you want to get into Devontae's ass in the locker room, in the locker room, then you can, yell at or whatever you want to do. But I'm with you, Leo. Keep that in house, man. If there's some true issues, but if you want to call everyone out at the podium, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I just feel like. I feel like the Raiders are holding back. If you look at some of the past press conferences over the years, even with Josh McDaniels, even with John Gruden, you can see that they was throwing a lot of shit under the rug on these podiums. And we just want to hear the truth. One thing about me and what I listen to these press conferences after games, I don't see no accountability. I don't see no responsibility of losses. I hear excuses. That's all I hear from these players. And I feel like you can't say what you want to say as far as accountability wise, because the Raider organization is watching what you say.
No, they've said that. I've seen Jacobs say we need to play better. I've seen them say the offense needs to move the ball better. Yeah, we can't always blame it on the defense.
That's the obvious. We got to be like, oh, the offense play like shit. We got to do better.
Didn't
not in that context, but something.
Yeah, Jacobs has done that.
Didn't Jacobs do that before that said Chiefs game? And then, like, when we played the Chiefs, his very first carry of the game, he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
That whole game was terrible. Isn't that when they went to the middle field? They went to the middle of the field of the Chiefs.
That was stupid. When they went to the middle of the field, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" Like,
Look, I can appreciate like the sentiment of trying to rally the team. That's what they were trying to do. Rally the team, try to get them fired up.
But now you just fired up the opponent to do even more. You just fired up the opponent to do even more, basically. But
that even took me back to when they did the whole circle around the stadium. Like, dude, we beat them a regular season game. We didn't
right. We're not going to the Super Bowl.
Now you added fuel to the fire, and then you want to get mad when they do shit like Ring Around the Rosie.
Right, exactly.
Like they remember that shit,
I'm not saying throwing everybody under the bus under a game, but what we just need to hear the truth. Like, I'm tired of hearing the same thing in every press conference, saying we have to play better, and then we go out and play like shit. What are you going to say in the next press conference? Like, I'm tired of hearing the same shit. That's all.
I get what you're saying, because like I really hated Gruden's. It was tough listening to Gruden's press conferences and Carr's. No, I get it, but I think at the end of the day, though, I don't want, because we don't need to know all the internal stuff.
Right.
I mean, we saw the game. We come
internal stuff, Chris. I'm just asking, like, if we hear we got to play better every week and we still losing, it's something else that needs to be said instead of we have to play better.
Said or done. I don't want to hear said.
Yeah, now I think that's more what we talking about.
Yeah,
fix the shit. Fix like, don't tell me, like, honestly, if we get our ass kicked, don't even do a press conference.
Yeah,
I don't even care. Right. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear what you got to say.
I probably wouldn't even watch it that day.
I don't even watch press conferences. I don't. Yeah, all it is PR bullcrap.
Right.
I stopped watching. Remember, AK, I used to do them. I used to do the
them when
press
we
conferences.
win.
Remember, I used to do them.
Yeah,
I used to do them so much, and I stopped doing them because I'm tired of hearing the same shit.
Yeah, I only do it when I'm hyped
crap.
from the win still. So I'm still hyped that we won. So I just want to keep hearing about
those are
other
good,
than that, yeah. But other than that, like if we got that last one, we got our ass kicked by Kansas City. Done, bro. I was like, I don't need to hear this shit. Yeah,
because cars always like put this on me. It's on me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I get it. That's all I really want, man. That's all I really. I just want them to say something instead of we just have to play better. I'm tired of hearing that.
But that's where my critique comes from, and I know Chris is a big fan of McDaniels. To me, that comes to the coaching. Like you say, we need to do better. You say we need to do this. How are you making them better? How are you making these dudes better?
What are you doing to make them better?
What are you doing to make it better?
Exactly. That's all I want. What are we doing to like? You don't have to say everything what we're doing in practice, but what adjustments are you making to make us better?
That's my biggest thing.
Absolutely. I think not just players need to do better, but also coaches, and I hope the coaching staff. I'm looking at McDaniels. I'm looking at Graham. I hope they look back on last season and see, okay, look, the players, they made mistakes, player execution wasn't there, but what did we do that went wrong? What is it that we can do, that we can improve on, that can put our players in a better position to succeed, and in turn make us better coaches? Better coaching, better player execution can lead to better results, right?
Right.
Now, one thing I will say, I do, and again, at the end of the day, we're all just listening to talk, and it's keeping us, it's getting us through the off season. But at the end of the day, we don't care until we see them on the field, because you can say anything. But one thing, and again, I do like McDaniels. I'm one of the few that do, but I like how he seems to take accountability for where they lacked, and it seems like they have a plan to address it. Now, again, if they don't do it on the field, all that lip service doesn't matter. But at least I feel like the old guy, the old Josh McDaniels in Denver, he probably thought he did nothing wrong. So he probably, he was young, arrogant, cocky. At least now I feel like he's taking accountability. Like, hey, we all could have did better. It starts with me, and we're doing X, Y, and Z. Now, if it doesn't work, okay, fire him, get rid of him. But at the end of the day, at least he's addressing it, taking accountability. Now we have to see if he can execute the plan.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the chat here, just responding to some comments here. Year 2 is when I judge the new leadership, is what Charles Washington said. And then we have Port.
Charles, I agree.
Shout out to Port for being here. He said McDaniels is better. It had more TDs than Gruden without Waller, Renfro, and healthy, with the 12th best offense in the league last year. People underestimate McDaniels. Shout out to Las Vegas Raiders. Latest great content. Shout out to you. If y'all all watch it on Protect the Shield podcast, if you're not watching on Protect the Shield podcast, make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to the channel. But subscribe to everybody's channel that's in this chat here. The link is in the description for everybody's chat. Randall Flores says, are you asking player God, they'll tell you McDaniels hold himself accountable the same way he does the players. Papa T says teams need to find that one player or coach who doesn't hold anything back and doesn't care about people's feelings and should be the only one doing the press conferences.
I think Josh is kind of like that. I think Josh
is like that.
Yeah, I think Josh and Devontae is the only two that comes to mind. But
Max,
for real,
Max right too. Max is getting there. He's taking a real leadership role. He's
taking in more of the press conferences in the locker room when the media is in the locker room than he actually is on the podium. So I understand that. What I care about is Raiders sign JJ. We just talked about that not too long ago. Shout out to y'all, man. But it's not really too many rumors or news coming out, but they did have a ranking. I don't know if y'all saw the top 25 Raiders players of this past season, and they ranked
25.
They ranked the 25 players from this past season.
I can't think of 25 great players from last season.
Yeah, I'll give you about 7. 7.
And I'll be real. I love my team. But if you're telling me we're going to rank 25, I'd be like, damn, what do I go after 7 or 8? Like, fuck.
Half of them going.
Jacobs, Devontae, and Crosby, and everyone else.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. That's funny. Oh man.
So Ryan Warwick, what's going on, Dominic Five? What's up? He said, Ryan, he said, hi, bro. Your thoughts on Devontae Adams that would leave the Raiders after the season? I don't think he
not
is.
going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
But we have to win if we want to keep him happy. That's one thing I can say as a wide receiver, because wide receivers are divas, and Devontae Adams can probably be that in some sort sometimes, but understandably so. It makes sense. But we have to win to keep him happy. So I don't think he's leaving. I think he's here for the long haul. But he's getting up there in age. He's going to want to win. He's going to want to win and at least get a championship, probably with us. OG Raider said Trey Tucker needs to plan out. That pick alone tells if Ziggs draft or not IMO.
So, well, that goes with Wilson and Mayer too. Those are our top 2 picks. You wasted the number 7 on Tyree.
Can I respond to that?
Is the big one. Go ahead.
Can I respond to Papa T?
This one right here.
Yeah. Actually, never mind, man. You know what? Never mind.
Don't respond, bro. Go ahead. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, man.
That is such a false narrative right there. You can't show me nowhere where the players rated him the worst coach. What it did say is that, and you can go to the NFLP or the NFLPA.com is where they did the survey that he's talking about. All that they said was the coaching staff was the lowest rated category. So when you're talking about players prioritizing the training facility, the weight room, we have all state-of-the-art stuff. All that stuff is going to be rated very high automatically. We have state-of-the-art everything. Our lowest category was the coaches, which kind of makes sense because he holds them accountable. So like I get tired when I'm hearing that, because that's not it. Everyone is so quick to say, oh, well, the Raiders rated him the 32nd coach in the NFL. That is not true. That is just the last category of that
survey.
Yeah, of the survey. That's it.
And not every coach is going to be.
Sorry, Papa. I just wanted to clear that up, and I see you didn't read it, but you're not the only one that says that. Go ahead.
I hear you, because not every coach is going to like every player. I get you hear other players like Brandon Marshall can't stand this dude. He can't, but he has a history with him.
Right.
So there's a history. There's more to it than that. But I wouldn't go off and say, look, he hates him. Of course he doesn't. Remember, there's players that came to Vegas
for him.
Play
for
him. McDaniels. Myers could have went anywhere. To the top Super Bowl contenders if he wanted to. But he came here to play with McDaniels, and that speaks a lot, about where you want to be, who you want to play for.
Yeah, respect Papa T. It's just a lot of people say that. And again, I probably defend him more than most.
Yeah,
because I do. Because I like him. I believe in him. But if he sucks, we'll kick him to the curb. I'm holding him accountable just like everyone else. But I want to give him a shot.
I'm probably on the other side of the coin from you, Chris. Like, I mean, I even as far back as before last season, and shout out to Port Adelaide Raider, because I know he's in here. Before we even hired a head coach, he was one of the top guys that on Port Adelaide Raiders' agenda for who he wanted in the door as a head coach. I remembered his time at Denver, and it wasn't pretty. It was bad. And a lot of, there's been former players who have spoken critically about his time there. So I for one, didn't really want him in the door. He's here now. I'm going to give him a fair shake. But like, for me, he hasn't proven it yet to me that he's a good head coach. And I think that's something we can all agree on.
I think he still has
I'm saying yet. I mean, he still has time.
Is very
I'm going to give him time. But, until proven otherwise, he hasn't proven to me personally he's a good head coach. But I'm hoping that can change with the draft, the moves they're making, and the youth movement moving forward can pan out in the long run. So I'm going to give him a chance, a fair chance.
I respect that. Now I respect that. Now he's not a McDaniels supporter, but you hear him. He's going to give it a chance, and he's going to let it play out. Now again,
no. I do support McDaniels because he's our head coach.
Okay, yeah.
I support him.
I like that.
He hasn't proven it to me.
We need more like that. We need more fans like that. That's what I'm saying. Because there's literally people that say they're Raider fans, and they don't support McDaniels. Which I don't see how you can have it both ways, but that's just me.
I support.
I support him because
I'm
it's
one of
like
those guys.
if he wins, then we win, right?
Exactly.
I'm one of those guys. I support McDaniels week by week. I criticize and I give him his props week by week.
You can still support and criticize at the same time.
But it got to be on a week by week basis. As of right now, I mean, when it comes to McDaniels, I think he's so smart at being offensively when it comes to him being an offensive coordinator.
It showed last year.
Even
with the shitty season that Carr had compared to other years, our offense was still ranked higher.
Yeah, our offense was still, but if you even look at it before McDaniels, our offense was always like in those top 10 or top 15 offenses. If you always looked at it, it's just a bit our defense side of the ball that's really been our issue. Let's keep it.
That's going to be an issue. It continues to be our issue.
And it continues to be our issue. And sometimes we look at these offensive-minded coaches that we bring in, and we blame Josh McDaniels, or we blame these offensive-minded coaches for, this coach is not doing this right, this coach is not doing this right. But it's really who they hire in that defensive coordinator position. I think that's where the blame comes in, that because our defense is the main issue for this Raiders team. If we can get our defense together with a top 10 offense to be on the same level, I think us as a Raiders squad, we will be good. We will be able to win more games and get back to the playoffs on a consistent basis. But our problem is defense.
But to your point, is that McDaniels' fault, or is that the organization's fault with bad drafting and not developing?
When you become a head coach,
it's on you.
You have to.
I know it's on you. Yeah, but that's what he inherited.
Yeah, they hire you to hire your staff.
Yeah,
and that's who at the time John Gruden had Paul Gunther, and then when we had Gus Bradley, and then now with Josh McDaniels, we have Patrick Graham. So if we could keep keep this coaching consistently and keep the players here too,
man.
Continuity has been our issue as well. And I'm one of the ones that I'm not really big fan of Josh McDaniels, because I feel like it was better coaches out there at the time that we could have got that was better than Josh McDaniels, but he's here now. So I'm supporting it. Because I wanted a defensive coach instead of an offensive coach. I wanted a defensive coach. So for me, it's a little bit different, but I understand why they went with Josh McDaniels. I understand why they went with Dave Ziegler. And we just have to see it pan out. And I'm not trying to be patient, but I gotta be patient.
You have to be. You can't expect them to come in and inherit that defense and be good the next year.
I get that, but
how can we not be patient? We've been bad for decades.
That's what I'm saying. It get to a point where if we can keep the same players under contract for more than at least 2 to 3 years to play together, this defense will be better. We always have moving parts on the defensive side of the ball, and we have to learn a new system every single year. Now we have our second year under Patrick Graham. Now it's time for us to keep this core around as long as possible. I mean, add a few veterans in there as well that's still a little bit in a prime and a little bit more athleticism to this defense. And then we'll be good. I think offensively we are set. You don't need to add anything else but depth to the offensive line when it comes to that. Running backs, if we could get Josh Jacobs good, we still have more depth there. We have depth at the wide receiver position. We have depth at the tight end position. I think we just need depth at the offensive line. Quarterback, we have depth there as well. But defensively, that's been our issue for the last 20-25 years.
Can I respond to a comment again? Or actually, I feel like I needed to stay out the comments. Never mind. Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo, man.
We want to hear from the fans, and the fans wants to hear from us. So
I think they did upgrade the defense finally, and they're starting with the defensive line by picking Wilson. By taking Wilson, adding that strength on the other side of Max, and trying to build up that inside. That's how I see they're finally starting to do that.
Hopefully we complained about that pick.
Because people like to complain. We're Raider fans. That's what we want to do. Everybody wanted Jalen Carter. People wanted AR-15. People wanted us to trade the whole
Jalen Carter
to get Jalen Carter was the one.
I did want Jalen. I ain't gonna lie.
I did too. I did, but I wasn't mad at Wilson though. I wasn't mad at.
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah,
I wasn't either.
Carter was a gamble we just weren't in a position to take, unfortunately. A team like the Eagles, they can afford to make that because they're competing for a Super Bowl. If it doesn't pan out for them, it's not as big of a deal if it didn't pan out for us.
And they got the support for him by having the other dudes there already with him.
Right.
Yeah, his old roommates.
His old roommate. They're all there.
With Jordan Davis.
We can't afford to whiff again on our first round draft pick the way we have in recent history. We couldn't afford it. A team like the Eagles, if it with Jalen Carter, it's either going to be one or the other. He's going to be able to put it together. None of these off the field issues that have been creeping up of late are going to affect his professional career, and the guy's going to be a stud. Or he's going to be a bust of epic proportions. You know what I mean? It's going to be one or the other. It's not going to be any in between. The Eagles are in a position to be able to make that kind of gamble. We're not. We cannot.
You know what's crazy about that, AK? The Eagles didn't even break the bank for him, even though where they got him at, they didn't even break the bank for him.
No, they didn't.
I mean, they had leverage, man. I mean, because
leverage.
Yeah, because he's grateful to be there, so he's happy off rip. So he probably, if I remember, was he one of the first ones that even signed his contract?
He was one of the first ones. Yeah.
So I don't know what the Van. I don't know what the interview. I don't know what that means, but
Ben McElroy.
Yeah, I'm not. We need like yesterday that Wilson is ready to play. I mean, we talked about this last. We talked about it last week. Is like, how are they going to, play Wilson? Inside out or outside in. It really depends on how the scenarios are there. But the comments are they're going off right now.
Tyree was a safe pick. I mean, he doesn't have the ceiling that Jalen Carter has, but there's no way he has the floor either. I mean, at the very least, I think we got a solid guy. Can he be more than that? Time will tell.
Right.
But I agree there. I'm not mad with the Tyree Wilson pick.
I think having Max opposite helps.
Having Max opposite, having Chandler Jones to be able to sit behind and just develop. Because I mean, I'm not expecting
he's built like
an immediate return from Tyree Wilson year one. What I mean? Give him time to develop. Year one, give him some game time, but then year 2, year 3, if we see that jump, hopefully we've got the Robin to Max Crosby's Batman. Best case scenario, we got a Batman Superman situation on. I think
that would be dope,
and that's what I want. I just want Patrick Graham and Josh McDaniels to do this year. Even though these players are young and they're sitting on the bench, but the best way to develop is to give them reps.
Oh yeah,
that's been the issue with Josh. I don't know if it's Josh McDaniels making the last call of who plays and who not plays, or what the depth chart is. But we didn't see a lot of Malcolm Kuntz last year that we should have. You know what I'm saying?
But so maybe it's for a reason. Maybe we think he could be more, and he's not showing it on the field.
I feel like
how can you show it on the field when you're not on the field?
I do feel like there's something about Malcolm Kuntz that we don't know, because Gruden almost treated him the same way too.
Yeah,
we saw him more on the field with Gruden than he did with under Patrick Graham. We saw him more there.
It's almost like maybe he doesn't practice hard, or there's something that we don't know, because like I said, I remember I was at the game, the first play he ever got in, and he got a sack. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's like, I don't know. There's something that we don't know, and it may come out later. Hopefully I can get him on Protect the Show podcast interview.
You know what? That was a good one. That was a good one. But
wait, who was the comment you were going to reply to, Chris?
Oh,
yeah, because I'll highlight it real quick.
He left, man. It was Jack Kenna, man. But he left, man. It's all good.
Can I have a take on Malcolm Kuntz when you guys have?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, in regards to Kuntz, I mean, there's never really a lack of effort whenever he does see the field. But that's the thing, is that he hasn't really seen the field much, to your point. But I've made the point a few times in my own lives, is that I personally believe that he's been in the doghouse with Josh McDaniels going as far back as, remember preseason last year? Remember
there was that quarterback.
Of somebody hitting the quarterback. Yeah, that was Malcolm. Like, if you pay attention to the way McDaniels chewed him out, because McDaniels, like, he stopped practice, he chewed him out, and then Malcolm Kuntz kind of went like this, and then McDaniels turned around and he's like, and don't effing wave your hands around like that. Just the way he spoke to him.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he respected them too much. And then fast forward later on in the season, You remember that Chiefs game? Remember how they were about to kick a field goal? They missed it.
Oh,
I can't remember if it was missed or it was blocked, but
he got the
we
penalty.
ended up getting penalized.
He missed.
They got the ball back. They ended up driving down the field for a touchdown.
He lost his shit.
Now, the penalty was called on Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz, like when you watch the replay, he didn't do anything. He goes. I remember seeing the footage on the TV. He went to the sideline. The camera's right panned on him and McDaniels, and he's trying to plead to McDaniels like, "I didn't do anything," and rightly so. He didn't do anything. McDaniels didn't even look at him. He was like, "No, I don't want to hear it. Go away."
He just lost.
You know what I mean? Like just the way he spoke to him, it just screamed like he just doesn't respect him as a player. Like maybe I'm looking into it too much, but just. I don't know if you connect the dots, the fact that he's not getting game time, even though like there's no lack of effort whenever he does, it just doesn't seem to me he's just one of his guys. But he's going to need a big preseason to make the roster. So.
Do you feel like it reminds you of the whole thing with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green had, they hash out, when Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in the face, and then that team has not been the same the whole year. It's kind of like that, but it's without the punch. You know what I'm saying? So Draymond, he's not going to be. He's a free agent for the Warriors. The Jordan Poole got traded, so we don't know what's going to happen. With the 53-man roster, if Malcolm Kuntz stay, I really want him to stay.
He's going to have to earn. He's going to have to earn his spot.
But the thing is, like with Kuntz, I think that if Josh hated him that much, he's an easy cap casualty guy that they could have got rid of him easily for minimal penalty. But I think they see his upside because I think he could bring that versatility that Patrick Graham likes. Yeah. Honestly, I think because when I used to watch highlights of him coming out of college, I know it sounds crazy, but he had like a lot of Von Miller-esque to me, so I wouldn't even mind seeing him as a 3-4 outside backer. But I mean, so I think that he can have some versatility. I want to see more of him, but like you guys said, there's something there that we just don't know, and we'll see what happens.
I just want them to make a player assessment of how he produced on the field to see if he fits, because even though you're practicing, it's not live game. And I was always a type of person. I was always a type of coach that I have to see you how you produce on the field before I can say that you're cut or you're done or I release you. But if you're not getting on the field at all and you're not, able to show that talent, I mean, how can you cut a guy when you never really seen nothing from him?
Mm-hmm. I think it's disappointing that Malcolm Kuntz hasn't. I mean, look, I do see the effort whenever he's on the field, but it's disappointing that he hasn't produced more or solidified a role as a decent depth guy, rotational guy on that second line to give the likes of Chandler Jones and Max Crosby a breather. I mean, ideally we would have wanted that, but we would have got that by now. We haven't. So I think of a lot of just about anybody on this on the defensive side of our roster, he's going to need a very big preseason to prove that. If he doesn't prove it in preseason, and I believe he's going to get a lot of snaps to be able to do so, he's out the door.
He won't make the 53.
I agree. I think he needs to be. I think for all 3 preseason games, he needs to play.
He needs to show up. At least 2 to 3,
at least 2 quarters or 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, really, he will, because Max isn't going to play at all, and Chandler won't play. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 2 to 3 quarters, 2 to 3 quarters every game, every preseason.
Will y'all put Tyree Wilson out there as well? On the opposite side of him,
depending on where he is
on his foot. Yeah, I got to see what his foot's like.
Where he at with his foot first. Yeah,
because I think he's going to be competing with like Adam Plant.
Who you think? Kuntz will?
Yeah. For that roster
spot. Plant's a good story, man. He's a good story.
Yeah.
I think as far as Tyree, I think the good thing about the position, defensive end is one of the easiest transitions from college to the NFL. You just basically just got to get used to the quickness of the tackle and just some of the strengths. But it's one of the easier positions to transition. So I think if Tyree doesn't play all that much in preseason, I think he can still come in week 1 and have an impact.
Or at least get that gameplay in the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to Raider Twan as well. He said some coaches have tendencies and they lean towards vets over young bodies.
They do.
Only, but they default. Shout out to Raider Twan, man.
Gruden did. Gruden was definitely like that.
Gruden was definitely like that. Yeah.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
Papa T said we always hear about guys doing great in camp and it just doesn't prove it on the field. And the problem is that we can't even see it in camp as fans, so it really sucks that we really can't see it in camp as fans.
Oh, I might be able to.
Especially running backs are like that. All those running backs that you guys love.
Oh, the one they were telling you about.
McCormick.
McCormick. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Chris almost lost his mind.
Maybe you need to get McCormick on your show, Chris. I mean,
hey, I'll holler. Yeah, let's talk, baby.
Call McCormick up and see if he can come on your show.
Make you believe it,
right?
Make you believe, what was going on with that
Chris
Raiders,
Warren. It's a Chris Warren 2.0, man.
Chris Warren produced in preseason. Sincere McCormick hasn't done nothing yet.
Right? That's my thing.
And he's the next big hype.
It reminds me of like with Atkinson. Remember Atkinson?
Yeah, Atkinson the third. Yeah.
Well, at least again, Atkinson actually did some things in preseason. You know what I mean? Like
we ain't see nothing on McCormick, man.
McCormick.
People got the nerve to be like, yeah, McCormick and Zeus are going to be the running back by committee. In fact, I think Spotlight said. I think you said that, D. Didn't you say that? McCormick McCormick and Zeus are going to be.
Say that.
I think you did, man.
I said we do have running backs that we drafted in the last year that we drafted 2 running backs that it looked like it's going to be a running back by committee with Josh Jacobs. I never said nothing about Zeus and Sincere McCormick being a running back by committee. See, you trying to get me in trouble with the Raider Nation, man. You trying to get me in trouble.
I'm already in trouble. Misery loves company. Somebody coming down with me, man.
Right. To be fair, though, I'm going to be very interested to see if Sincere McCormick does get a chance in preseason to show his wares, because I personally, I'm not sold on any of these other running backs we have in the room to be the guy. I was pretty disappointed with Zamir White, not at the very least.
He only had 40 carries all year. He barely had 10 carries the game. He's a rookie. You got to, I don't know what expectations y'all really had for Zeus, even though Josh Jacobs was there.
I can answer that if you give me a chance.
Then they were
bigger. No, you good. I'm sorry. No,
that's cool. I was just, I can give you an answer for that. Like, okay, so I something I've said on previous lives is that, like, I never really had that moment with Zeus in his rookie year, which makes me feel like I can be confident he can be the guy.
Yeah, like he's next up.
If something bad happens to our feature back in Josh Jacobs, whether we don't bring him back or he goes down injured, like I had that in previous years when we brought in a rookie in the door with the likes of Darren McFadden, with the likes of Latavius Murray, with the likes of Jalen Rashad and DeAndre Washington. In their rookie years, they at least showed me some moments, some games where, you know what, they did pretty well. They can be the guy moving forward. I never had that with Zamir White last year. And it was a little disappointing. Like, yes, Brandy's a rookie. He does have time, but just saying.
We could agree to disagree. I just feel like with Zeus, like I said, he's just like another Malcolm Kuz. We didn't see enough of him on the field.
But even
because we ran Josh Jacobs with 30 times a game, damn near.
But it's an eye test for me, though. It's like you can see a running back, you can see someone with vision. And again, I'm a Raider fan first. I want him to do well, but like, I just don't know, man. I just don't like. Hopefully, he shows me something. But like, for you guys to act like we can just give away this 25-year-old All-Pro and for Sincere McCormick and
I don't know who's saying that. Whoever's saying that, they
I know I'm reaching, but still. But you guys get the point, though. It's like, I don't know.
No, I'm not saying that Zamir White could be a number 1 running back in this league. No, I'm not saying that, because if you look, like I said before, when he was at Georgia, he wasn't even the number 1 running back there. He was a running back by committee. He's a running back by committee type of running back. So trying to put 25 carries and 30 carries on him, that's just not his game. So that just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm just saying, just give the man a shot. And why he's a running back by committee, not being a number 1 running back, because we are learning in the NFL in itself that there's no true number 1 running backs in the league like that anymore.
There's a few.
It's only 3. It's only 3 or 4 out of 32 teams. It's like 3 or 4 running backs that's really number one. But if you look at the teams that have won the Super Bowl, how many running backs they had running backs by committee?
But who do those teams have as quarterback though?
I'm not letting you
hit that part.
Oh no, Leo! I gotta promise you, the San Francisco 49ers went through 3 quarterbacks last year.
And who's their running back? McCaffrey.
Yeah, but they traded for him. But Elijah Mitchell. But hear me out. Elijah Mitchell had 1,100 rushing yards last year before McCaffrey got there.
And were they as good the year before McCaffrey?
Yes. If you look at the 49ers, every single year they've been in the damn near in the conference championship.
Kansas City
with mediocre running backs. They went out and got an undrafted. The Chiefs went out and got an undrafted free agent in Isaiah Pacheco that came out of Rutgers.
But who's Kansas City's quarterback?
I understand that. But if you look at Brock Purdy and you look at Trey Lance and you look at Jimmy Garoppolo that was injured, none of them quarterbacks compete with Patrick Mahomes, and you can still put up the numbers with a running back committee with the 49ers.
The 49ers did it with they traded for McCaffrey for a reason. They traded for
McCaffrey because they got rid of Moser. They didn't have no other depth there, but Elijah Mitchell
did it
got
for
hurt
a reason.
too.
Why did they trade for McCaffrey?
Because Elijah Mitchell got hurt this year. That's why.
And they have the number one running back. Do they have a number one quarterback?
They don't have the 49ers don't have the number one quarterback.
Even though Purdy was balling his ass off before he got hurt, though.
But he's not a number one quarterback. He's Mr. Irrelevant. Like, come on, like.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can't say that about running back when you talk about the championship teams, because those teams have a fucking elite quarterback, with the exception of the 49ers. They have an elite fucking defense.
But outside of Patrick Mahomes, right? That's won 2 Super Bowls. Name some other running backs that won Super Bowls without their number one quarterback.
But what I'm telling you, what you're failing to realize, those teams had an elite quarterback.
Not every team that won the Super Bowl had an elite quarterback.
Who didn't?
Flacco was not elite.
No, you're talking about recently. You're talking about recently. You're talking about recently. Flacco had an amazing fucking defense.
Exactly, but I'm saying sometimes
Ray Rice as well.
It don't need to be sometimes it doesn't need to be a
Ray Rice
quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
But they had a number one running back, right?
To win a Super Bowl, you just don't.
Now they had Jamal Lewis back then.
Oh,
and Jamal Lewis was
even better.
Even better, right? Even better.
Jamal Lewis won what with Trent Dilfer, if I'm not mistaken.
No, but the thing of me that gets to me when people say, "Oh, look at the teams that won the Super Bowl without running backs," but those teams have fucking amazing quarterbacks. The Chiefs have
Trent Dilfer was not an amazing quarterback.
I'm not talking about Trent Dilfer back in those days. Talk about now. Back in the Trent Dilfer days, you needed a running back. Now everybody's about this running back by committee. Don't bring up the Trent Dilfer days, because those days were different. Those days you had a defense and a fucking running back.
Yep, and you were good.
Now it's different. Now everybody wants. Now everybody wants to do the running back by committee.
They want to get cute now. They want to get
about
cute.
the 3-4 years now. Then it's different.
I mean, if you
don't go all the way back to different.
All I'm gonna say is this, though. All I'm gonna say is this: in the NFC championship game with the 49ers and the Packers, Jimmy Garoppolo only threw the ball 10 times. Where you had Raheem Moser had 20 carries and another running back had 20 carries, and they beat the Packers and in Green Bay. I'm just throwing it out there.
Did they win the Super Bowl?
They didn't win the Super Bowl, but they was there.
They was there, but
they was there. They won. They got further than what the Raiders ever did in the last.
Who won the Super Bowl that year?
Who won the Super Bowl though? Kansas City with who? Patrick fucking Mahomes.
Okay, understand, and it's cool, but I'm just saying you're making it seem like we can't get there with a running back with committee. We can with the quarterback that we have. And y'all making it seem like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be this savior of the goddamn Raiders.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying we can't do it. If we had a better quarterback, a more elite, then I'd be more down with running back by committee. But the fact that we have Jimmy G, I want Jacobs back, bro, because he's one of the 3 backs that can carry the load on a fucking team.
And the fact we don't have an elite defense either.
Either.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I broke it down in the past 10 years. The top running back each year, 8 of those times the team went to the playoffs. 7 of those 8 times that team won their division. So we can't act like having the top running back, you don't need it. You can't.
Right.
And then if you go to the Super Bowl winners, the past 10 Super Bowl quarterbacks either were MVP or Hall of Famers. The only ones that weren't is Foles,
Nick Foles.
for the Eagles, and they had the fourth ranked defense that year,
Mhm.
and then Matt Stafford, who had probably 3 future Hall of Famers on that defense.
Yeah.
But name the running backs that Stafford had. It was a running back by committee when he won that Super Bowl, correct?
I don't even remember who. Yeah, I don't remember who they were. But
I think
that's what I'm saying.
Michel
You got to have a like if you're gonna do, you got to have a defense.
But Stafford
We don't
something
have
about
that.
your roster has to be elite. If you don't, if
Yeah.
you're going to run with a running back by committee, you've
got to have a
gotta
defense to go with it.
To your point, Leo, an elite quarterback, or to your point, Chris, an elite defense. You know, what I mean,
To go with
something
it.
about your team has to be able to compensate
make up
for
for
the
it.
lack
Yep.
of
To make
an,
up for it.
an elite running back or
Yep.
a running
I
back.
just
by
feel like
committee.
I just don't want us to wear out Josh Jacobs. That's just my only problem.
No,
No,
and
we
I'm
shouldn't.
good.
That's the only problem.
We shouldn't.
That's
I'm
why I
good
say
with
running back
using
by
Zeus.
committee, because it's been times where I feel like Josh Jacobs, if just hypothetically, if he gets hypothetically, which I don't want to happen, is to get hurt. That's why I want the running back by committee, because it takes a load off of Josh Jacobs getting that wear and tear.
Yeah, so
See,
that
I
goes
I don't
back
want it
to
to
our-
be like the next Derrick Henry, where he don't have
I
no
think
running back by committee.
I think you're getting it confused.
Where
Like a running back by committee, the way I see it, is like kind of what New England does, where they literally have 3 or 4 backs running. Now, I think what you're talking about is kind of like what Cleveland does, where they have a true number 1, but then they got a solid number 2 that comes in and spells them.
Exactly.
So, but I don't think that's
Exactly.
a running back by committee, though. I don't
That's
look at
not
it as a running back by
committee.
committee.
Yeah.
But
I
if
think
you
that's
got-
a RB1, RB2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the league, you still got to have a pass catching. You know, you got to have a catching running back out the backfield. That's why I say running back by committee with us, because you have that Amir Abdullah that could do different things outside of
That's
him
that
just
third-
running the football.
That's
Yeah, I
the
mean,
third down back.
No, he's that third down back that we don't need Jacobs in that situation. Depending on what the scenario is, if it's like 3rd and 1, you throw him in there. That just makes sense. But if you got like a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, or 3rd and 7, you throw Amir Abdullah in that scenario, because he had the athletic ability to get out in space when he catch the ball. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Oh, I'm not saying that Josh Jacobs is yes, he's going to be our number 1 back. I get it.
To be.
But I still want to, I just don't want to wear him out at this age. Knowing the previous injuries that he had in the past, I just don't want that extra load. I don't want him to get almost 300 carries in a season. That's crazy.
How confident are you in our spellbacks to be of any of these other guys to be a decent spellback? To your point, if Josh Jacobs needs a breather or something happens to him, how confident are you in these other guys or any of these other guys to be the guy to emerge?
If you look at the way the NFL offenses, if you look at the way the NFL offenses are in the NFL, you could put running back in multiple situations. You could play to a lot of their strengths, especially when they came out of college. When you look at, if you look at Zamir's White college tapes, best of his ability is in the shotgun, is in the spread. That's where he's good. He's a jump cut type of guy, play his foot, get to the hole, that type of, you got to play to the player's strengths. And I feel if we don't do that, then they're going to setting them up for failure.
See, I got to push back there too, because I get it. You play the player's strengths, but at the same time, you got to have your scheme that you run and perfect. These guys have to adapt to what you're doing now. Now, if he's not the right type of fit for you, then you don't draft him. But I don't agree with changing your whole philosophy for a guy unless you got someone dynamic like a what's the name, Lamar Jackson, where you're like, screw it, we're going to throw this out the window and we're going to restructure what we're doing. But like, I'm not changing what I'm doing for Zeus. I'm not.
No, I'm not saying change what we're doing. I'm just saying if you look at today's NFL, they are adapting to a lot of college football offenses because it's more explosive. So if Josh McDaniels can adapt to what everybody else is doing in the NFL because it's a copycat league, and if we could play it to our strengths and still keep our identity while we're opening up our offense, it makes it more comfortable for Zeus. That's all I'm saying. Because we are in this. If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and how they run their offense and how Isaiah Pacheco, undrafted free agent, was able to hit the holes out of the spread, because that's where we are in the NFL with the spread. with 4 wide receiver sets, 3 wide receiver sets, or a pistol, or not be. You'll never. I don't know when the last time we really saw a quarterback under center if they're not running the football or getting a quarterback sneak. So you just gotta have Zeus in space. That's what you got. I just want to see a little bit more. Like, I don't want to see the stat sheet and Zeus only got 1 carry. You get what I'm saying?
But I mean, at the end of the day, if
Zeus,
Zeus,
33 carries out of Josh Jacobs, but 1 carry out of Zeus. Like, come on.
But when Zeus gets his opportunity, make the most of it. If Zeus
How
gets
can you make the most of it with 1 play? That's not making the most.
No,
of it.
but I'm just saying, man. You gotta earn that confidence, man.
Yeah,
you gotta earn that confidence.
I think Abdullah earned it. I think that's the only reason he gets as much burn as he does. Abdullah has shown that he can make a play here and there, even if giving minimum opportunities. There's that chance where he's going to break one for you. I didn't see that with Zeus last year. I didn't see the vision.
It goes back to what I said. I mean, like, yeah, you do need to earn your opportunities, and when you do get your opportunities, you need to make the most of them. It goes back to what I said. When Darren McFadden in his rookie season, in his limited touches, he made the most of them. He showed enough to.
How many carries he had? How many carries he had though? He didn't have.
I'm not sure, but I remember
seeing them though
being there. Latavius Murray, remember Latavius Murray's rookie year?
Yeah, I remember.
Remember that game? Yeah. Remember he was getting limited touches, and that one touch he got against the Chiefs, he took it to the house, and that was enough for me to say, you know what?
Thank you. He earned it.
He earned it. DeAndre Washington, Jalen Richard. Remember Jalen Richard's first game of the season, 2016?
To the house. He took it to the house.
To the house.
To the house.
DeAndre Washington, he had a game where he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns in his rookie year.
I don't think the Raider Nation
like in their rookie years, they showed enough
Zeus is a dog.
Confident in them moving.
Nah, we're not saying he's not a dog. Yeah, we're not saying he's not a dog, but you got to earn that confidence, man. And I don't think he's done it yet. I don't think he's done it yet.
I hope he does this year because I got excited when we got him. I thought he was good in college, but the season that Jacobs had, I just wanted to see more of Jacobs because that's where our fucking offense was going through, you know. Mm-hmm.
And I get that, and I get that, but I'm saying just give the man at least 5 carries. But I as me being a former coach, I can't dictate a player's potential off of 1 play. I just can't.
That's a fact.
I can't.
But the thing is, you got to realize,
there's been many games when we only saw him get 1 or at least 2 carries, and not even the carries. If you even put him in the game and you don't even hand the ball off to him, then what is he supposed to do?
Well, he was getting some touches against the Rams in the game before that. And for the most part, he was doing okay. But there was one glaringly bad rep against the Rams where the lane opened wide up. Like all he had to do was just run through it. Instead, he took the wrong hole and ran right into
his own dude.
It was a really
that's coachable, though. I mean, as a running back, when you're a young running back in the league, is a vision thing and an IQ thing is very coachable. It's not like this man is a scrub because it's definitely not a scrub.
See, but another thing you guys aren't, well, not you guys, but I think you're failing to realize is if you really look and understand kind of how NFL practices are, you earn just to get reps in practice, you got to earn those. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're just giving Zeus just 1 carry and that's it. Like there's a reason for it, whether he's not earning it in practice. Maybe Britton Brown is doing better or whatever. They're taking some of his reps. You only got limited reps in practice.
I don't even want to get on Britton Brown.
You make a great point, Chris. And where I learned that was that year the Raiders were on Hard Knocks. I remember when Max broke his hand. And he was so mad that he lost his
he was missing his reps.
And he just practiced preseason. But he knew that these reps are the limited amount of time I have to show them that I can do it. This is before he even got on the field and he became Mad Max to us. So that's the part where you got to show people in those moments where you make the most out of them.
I don't want to do a shameless plug, but I don't know if you guys saw my interview with Josh Harris. So he was a former Heisman Trophy candidate out of Bowling Green. He was the first quarterback that kind of made Urban Meyer popular, but it was my high school quarterback. So we're friends, and he was telling me he got drafted to the Ravens, and he was just telling me about how hard it was just to get reps. Like he literally, I mean, like you may go the whole practice and only get 3 or 4 team reps, and 4 of those, maybe 2 of those reps are handoffs. So you got 2 reps to really impress. And he was like, for me to get those 4 to 6 reps, I earned those in OTAs.
Yeah.
So it's like so it's really like a trickle down effect where like for you to get a rep in a game and get some snaps in the game, it's not like they're just given to you. You're earning every damn one. So if he's only getting one carry or what, if there's a reason that we just don't know. Maybe he's not beating out Britton Brown or Brandon Bolden or any of them other dudes. Because we know Brandon Bolden's still on the team. Don't get me started there. But my thing is, how come we can't get rid of him? Because there's no confidence. The confidence is lacking.
And that's why I said
balling, we'll get rid of them dudes.
That's why I want to see once the training camp starts and we start to narrow the roster down. Because right now we're at what, 90, 91 with the one international player. Then that's when you'll start to see if these dudes are going to be the ones and how much confidence they have in these guys. You know, how much confidence do they really have in them? Yeah.
But before you know, AK has to, you know, head on out, I want to go through my Raiders trivia, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. AK said he'll be right back, so I'm gonna just go through the rankings real quick of the top 25 players that Raiders Wires has for this Raiders team. Starting from 25 to 21, they have 25 at Brandon Faison, number 24 Duke Shelley, number 23 Robert Splain, number 22. Chris ain't gonna like this one. Bilal Nichols, 22. And 21 is Andre James. So that's 25 to 21. What's your thoughts on that? The first part of that ranking.
I mean, with the roster that we have, geez, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't make
that. To say about Bilal Nichols, huh?
Bilal Nichols, bro.
25 being there. I don't know about that.
All right, so that was 20. We gonna get back to that when we done this, but we have it's some Raiders history here. So I really did my homework with this.
We'll see.
So
we'll see.
Let's go to the first question here. Who broke Bo Jackson's 1987 record for the longest rushing play in Raiders history?
Terrell Pryor. Give us a hard one, dog.
No. You're absolutely wrong on that play.
Latavius Murray.
No. I got one more until I put it up there.
Pryor has the longest run, doesn't he?
I know. I thought it was Pryor.
Yeah, and that run by Latavius Murray that I mentioned before.
But Murray went like 92, didn't he? Didn't he? Murray go?
It was Bo Jackson that beat his own record.
Oh, come on, man.
It was Bo Jackson that beat his own record in 1989 against the Cincinnati Bengals with a 92-yard TD, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
All right. I guess.
Trivia is a little.
I had to trick y'all with that one.
How long was Pryor's run?
It was
93 yards.
93.
Yeah, right. But according to sources, what I saw on where I got it from, they said 92.
You might want to follow up with them because Pryor's run was longer than that, bro.
Right. We was right. Hey, forget what he talking about. We was right.
I was there.
Right.
I was there on a podcast. I was there in that stadium and I saw that run.
Yeah.
How long was Latavius Murray's? That one.
His was long too.
That was a long one. Real long one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So next question is this. The Raiders became the first team in NFL history to claim a championship as what?
Wild card team.
Wild card.
Okay, so who if they get the championship, who do they play in that championship?
Philadelphia.
Okay, Leo.
That's what I'm talking about, Leo. Wild card team.
Okay, Leo.
Raiders take the Super Bowl win, beating the Philadelphia Eagles 27-10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which Hall of Famer played a record of 340 games in an amazing career that lasted 26 seasons and spanning 4 decades? Which Raider Hall of Famer played a record of 340 games and had an amazing career in the last 26 seasons, in his lasting 26 seasons and spanning 4 decades?
I won't go first. I'll let y'all guess before I tell you.
It was wasn't it
it's not Tim Brown, is it?
No.
Nah, it was the what's his name, man? The dude
George
who?
Someone put it in the comments. George Blanda.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because he played. Didn't he play like three positions?
Yeah, man. So I
George
should have
Blanda.
worn
Yeah,
that.
because he played like three positions, right? Wasn't he like a kicker too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the end of his career, he was one of the punchers. I believe.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
how
punter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely correct because George Blanda, they got it for y'all. Y'all
Look at
gotta put the wrong
face
y'all gotta put the
mask.
wrong answers in the comments, man. Put the wrong answers in the
Good
comments.
looking out, chat. Good looking out, chat.
I
But
knew it would
Nice
Hey,
job.
we need their help, man, because you got trick questions, man. About Bo Jackson.
So the
broke his
grand
own record.
old man George Blanda played for the Bears, Colts, Oilers before joining the Raiders in 1967. He was the only player in the NFL history to play as many as 26 seasons and the oldest player in the NFL with 48 years old and 109 days. At the end of his career in 75, his 2002 points were the most scored by any player ever. And at that time of his death in 2010, he still holds that record for the most extra points kicked with 943.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was kicking too. Yeah,
it was kicker.
For 943 from 959 attempts. Brett Favre broke Blanda's record for most interceptions thrown with 277 in 2007.
R.I.P. George Blanda.
Tiffany Nicole, you gotta get out of here.
Hey, and
I know who she is. Don't worry about her. I got her. I got her off air. Don't worry about that. I got her.
Yeah. Handle that light work.
I got her off here.
Dwayne Harris's run was a punt return. It's different.
Yeah, that was a
Kickoff
punt
and
return.
punt
Oh yeah,
return
punt
is
return
different.
was fire
Yeah.
too.
Oh, it was okay. It was the punt return. Got it.
Yeah, the
fire.
Dwayne Harris one was a punt return. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all okay. So y'all cheating for them in the chat though. Shout out to the chat though.
I didn't mean it.
Now Randall, my boy Randall in the building.
I was just giving AFK and Chris a chance to answer.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let me see if I think I got one more if I'm not mistaken. I think y'all know.
Al Davis, Matt Campbell.
So in 1976, the Raiders went 13-1 regular season en route to the first Super Bowl championship. Which team did Oakland suffer the only defeat?
Oh,
I'm gonna say Miami or the Steelers.
It's not either of them, but it is an AFC team.
Oh, that's my guess.
I would have said the Steelers.
I would have said the Steelers, and then they won the rematch. Yeah,
In 76.
76. That was the year they won the Super Bowl. 13. Who did they lose to? Damn.
It's
Look at Spotlight over there. Look, he happy. He happy over there. Look at him.
Tell me it was a
I
target,
my
bro.
research. I worked hard on these
He
trivia
happy.
questions. Right? I worked hard. But Leo, you got any answers before I pull it up?
I'm just gonna say just Denver out of
Hold on,
no.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say
70s.
the Houston Oilers.
Absolutely not. It was the New England Patriots that did.
Look at Randall.
We got mollywopped.
Is that the picture where the Raider punched their coach in the face or something?
Or Matt Millen
in that game?
Yeah, that one.
We did our revenge in
Was that Lyle? Was that Lyle that did that?
Lyle, that was Matt Millen.
Matt Millen,
yeah.
Shout out to Matt Millen.
That is the history trivia questions that I had for tonight. So the divisional playoff, we got our revenge back anyway. But I thought there was some pretty dope questions to bring on to the show. How y'all feel about them questions?
Man,
that was good. It was good. That first one, man. I don't know, man.
It's prior.
We got your eye on you, man.
It's prior, bro.
Listen,
93
listen, every source that I try to Google, it said Bo Jackson.
I just looked it up right now. It's in Terrell Pryor, bro.
Get him, Leo. Get him.
2-yarder.
Get him,
man.
Yeah.
So you were at that game live when that happened, Leo?
What, the Terrell Pryor?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what's up.
It was like second
So,
and third play, right?
I know you gotta go, bro. Wow. I know you always all the way overseas. I know it's probably morning for you over there, correct?
It is. I got to carry on with my day. Before I do go, just in regards to that play by Terrell Pryor, and I spoke of this on my last live. I remember that game. I woke because I have to wake up to watch the games over here at depending on what time. If I believe that was a day game at in the afternoon. So that would have been 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So I would have had to wake up at 6 a.m. So I got up 10 minutes too late. I was just like, whatever, So I get my laptop ready because I was going to stream the game live. So I turned the game on. and the first thing I see is Terrell Pryor and the Coliseum just going buck wild. I'm thinking, wait, what just happened?
What did I miss?
What the hell
And then I
happened?
saw the
Right?
replay. I'm thinking I wouldn't have missed anything like 5 minutes deep, right?
Right.
Wrong.
I know, right?
But anyways, a good Raider memory. Thanks for having me on the panel tonight for you, Spotlight. Really appreciate it. Leo, good to chop it up with you again, my friend. And Chris, first time I shared the panel with you.
Yeah,
very much appreciate it. And I'm gonna have to hit you up on your podcast. What's your show called again? The Protect the Shield?
Protect the Shield podcast, man. Yeah, let's link up, man. Maybe we can do something.
Yeah, and I like your hat too. That's dope. It's fine.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yo, Chris be having the stuff, man. Like, listen, I don't know where you got that hat from, but it's definitely making me jealous over here because you know my hat game been crazy.
Hey, this is a shout out to the dark side clothing, man. Dark
side, yeah.
I've seen your stuff. Yeah.
They're releasing more actually in the middle of July. They're gonna have more. So
yeah, that's my guy. I like him.
Oh, AK, throw out your social media handles for everybody that can follow you.
I need to follow you, man. Yeah, what's your stuff?
All right, so I know Spotlight, he struggles to say my name as well.
I butcher your name bad, man.
My name is Afakasi Raider, so that's spelled Afakasi. So what that actually means is that I'm half Samoan. So you got Samoan Raider, shout out to him. I'm half Samoan, so that's what Afakasi means. Afakasi Raider, Afakasi. You'll find me on IG, on YouTube. I've got my own channel going. Shout out to Raider Joe and my boy Aunt Six, as well as Port Adelaide Raider. He's in the chat feed. My other guy tatted. You know, I do a few live shows, some Raider content, some Madden, whatever. You know how it goes.
I just subscribe. I just subscribe to you, man.
Appreciate it. Link up to play Madden, bro. We got to link up to play Madden.
Hey, say less. You know, I'm always willing to take on some comments, but nobody wants to play.
I play a little bit of Madden with y'all. You know, I'm down for it. We can all be on the same team and play against the rest.
Surely you guys aren't afraid of an Australian playing your own game, right?
Oh no, not at all. You know what? I've actually been to Australia, so I understand waking up at 6 a.m. where you're talking about to watch the games. But yeah.
You know what it is when it comes to Madden. They'll take any and anyone. So anyways,
let's do that.
Thanks for having me on, gang. You'll take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side for sure. Go right.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Peace.
But I wanted to go back to the shout out to my boy Matt Campbell, man. He's he's one of my co-hosts for the Darian Hopkins show. He said, "How's the defense looking in camp?" Now, I have not really been following the defense in camp. I don't know if Chris or Leo has been following it, but
camp hasn't started yet. But just mini camp. It's hard to say because they're in shorts.
Well, yeah. The only thing I heard a lot of praise about Hall, a lot of praise on Hall. And him being more ready to take over. More
Bennett too. Bennett
too. Another one. Yeah, they're loving the way the line's gonna gel. So far, it's all just they see it. You know, like you said, walk through in shorts. I think we'll learn more when it comes to training camp, which I might be going to. By the way, y'all.
When is it? It starts. Well, it's the 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you know one thing that I've been hearing that excites me, just being again, just someone that just loves football, played it my whole life, even in college. From a defensive standpoint, what they're saying that has changed this year is the communication is better. So guys already know, you know, when people are going in motion, there's no hesitation. They know who they got. Everyone knows their assignments. To me, that is huge because now guys can read and react. They don't got to think. And that's so key. So I think just from that standpoint, we're going to do so much better, you know, just because guys aren't just learning, you know, they're more or less reading and reacting, and they can be the player that they naturally are.
I think it goes back to what you were saying about the continuity. You know, this is their second year with this dude, so hopefully they can get that going, bro.
But I want to finish off this top 25 ranking before we head out.
Oh yeah. Let's get to it.
We did the 25. We did the 25 to 21. Now we're at 16 to 20. So
and this is based on this roster, right? I thought you meant like from
this
last
roster.
Year.
I thought it was last year's, but it's actually this roster.
When you said Brandon, when you said Brandon,
the current roster that we have now.
Yeah. Okay, so we getting close to Brandon Parker time, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm waiting for.
So number
Brandon
20
Parker on this list, I'm out, bro.
number 20 is Marcus Epps, the safety. Number 19 is
Ooh,
Austin
20.
Hooper. Number 18 is Devon Diablo. Number 17 is Trayvon Merrick, and number 16 is Jermaine Illuminor.
Damn.
I don't
thought
like
they
that.
were higher.
Yeah, there's no reason Divine Diablo and Austin Hooper should be anywhere close to each other.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Nah.
And
So this is the current. This is for the current roster. The current roster. So if you look at these numbers, man, number 15, Tyree Wilson.
15.
Tyree Wilson at 15. Number 14, Michael Mayer.
I figured he was
Michael Mayer
higher
at 14.
than Hooper. Yeah.
That's Leo's boy.
Telling y'all,
Yo.
Notre Dame about to represent again.
Number 13, Dylan Parham. Parham is at 13. Number 12 is
Hold on. Before we go further, though,
how's Parham ahead of Luminor?
Like, are y'all really sold on Parham?
On our team,
I am. I think I am. I
they
just don't want them to put him at center.
No, I don't either.
Keep him at left guard.
Yeah.
And don't put him at center, and I think we're good.
He gets overpowered. Like, he has to get stronger. He has to.
I
don't think he really haven't given up any sacks this past season.
Man, but he gets carried into the backfield quite, man, especially again, who was the Saints. The Saints was just killing him.
Cameron Jordan?
Yeah. Cameron Jordan was having his way with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was nasty work. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, you're good. That was a good question, bro.
13
so 15 was Tyree. 15 was Tyree Wilson. 14 was Michael Mayer. 13 was Dylan Parham. 12 was Chandler Jones, and number 11 is Jacob Johnson.
Jacob
Johnson.
Jacob Johnson, the fullback.
You forgot to say former Patriot.
Shout out to Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob is up there. So now we at the top.
Okay, hold on. Well, I'm sorry, man. You know, a lot of people's pissed off that we got rid of Alec Ingold.
Ingold was good.
Do you guys like Jakob or Ingold better? I like Jakob better, honestly.
Ingold I like Jakob better because I feel like he's a great fullback when he's
traditional.
Traditionally, but I think athletically Ingold is better than him.
Ingold all day, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Athletically, I like Ingold more, but for what we use him now in McDaniel's system, Jakob was
right.
Yeah.
Ingold was that one of those guys that could catch the ball at the backfield as a fullback.
Yeah, like Marcel. Remember Marcel Reese? Marcel Reese
was one of them too.
Boy,
I love Marcel Reese, man. That was one of my favorite guys. But so this is from 10 to 6, and then we're going to get to the top 5. But number 10 is Nate Hobbs.
Okay.
Higher or lower for him, or at the right spot?
I got to see who else is on there, but I'm okay with that. Nate's a top 10 on the list.
You said Shelley. You said Faison. So Hobbs is third. We'll see.
Hobbs is the third corner on the list. But number 9, Jimmy Garoppolo.
I need convincing. I'm sorry. I need convincing.
You're wearing your emotions on your sleeve, man.
I do. When it comes to him, I do. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna be out there cheering for him.
Oh man,
damn, he's our 9th best player.
Number 8 is Hunter Renfrow.
Ooh, they still got love for Hunter. Okay.
Number 7, they have Jacoby Myers at 7.
This is about to get interesting.
It is.
This is about to get interesting.
At number 6, we have AJ Cole at number 6.
Of course. I hate that our kickers are some of our best players.
I know.
I hate that.
Bad though.
Yeah, because Carlson's got to be up there.
Yeah, Carlson's top 5. We already know Carlson gonna be
AJ Cole. I gotta put my video up there when he shouted. I gotta
do his thing.
When I was Spotlight Raiders Talk, he made a video saying, I'm AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and now you're watching Spotlight Raiders Talk. I gotta get you to do another one, AJ Cole. I gotta get you to do another one. I gotta change it. You have to say nothing but Raiders podcast on this one. So shout out to AJ Cole though, but let's get into the top 5 ranked players here. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
In
I'm
number
debating
5,
one or two.
y'all about to be crazy for this number 5. I cannot.
Who made this list though?
Wait.
Before you go on,
Oh man!
He
So number
did.
5 is
Spotlight made it.
Raiders Wire.
Raider
According
Wire,
to
okay.
Raiders Wire of USA Today, they made the list.
Okay,
Daniel Carlson is number 5, y'all.
I knew he was gonna be top 5. I'm not
Yeah,
surprised. I knew it.
That's the Raiders. We always got special
our punter
teams.
and our kicker is in the top 10.
That's kind of
number-
sad.
He had to sip to that. Chris had to sip to that real
I had
quick.
to, bro. You know it's bad when you gotta get your drink in a mason jar. It's been one of them nights, man.
Damn.
Number 4 is Colton Miller.
Oh,
Yeah,
He's not a top 5
I'm not the
player?
biggest Colton fan, man. I'm not the biggest Colton. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not the biggest Colton fan.
as far as left tackle goes, you don't think he's one of
He's
the top
mid,
ones?
man. He's mid.
Yeah.
He's mid.
Y'all going to have to be shocked about this one.
Well, now you're going into the top 3, right? So it's just
Yes.
a matter of what order Crosby.
Oh,
Tay, I'm in. Yeah.
Jacobs is 3.
Woo! Okay.
Max
Okay.
Crosby is 2.
Crosby is 2.
And the
I
number
get it.
1
Yeah,
player on the
Devontae.
Las Vegas Raiders is
I'm
Devontae
okay.
Adams.
Yeah,
man.
I'm cool with that
I
top
get it.
3.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Leo? You have Max's first?
I would put Max first.
No,
But I get
way.
Devontae the best player, but that's me as like a Raider. I see Max, I see a fucking Raider. So that's why I always
That's
think of
true.
him as
That's
number
true.
one.
But
like,
nah,
number
three is definitely
Devontae is.
legit.
But
is
Devontae is the
different. That's
dude.
different.
He's different.
He's
I
a
get
mutant,
that.
man. He's a mutant.
When we got him, I was hell of excited. I got my nephews all hyped. But like when it comes to a Raider, to me right now, it's Max. You know?
Yeah, because we drafted him. It makes sense. We drafted
Colton
him.
Miller. To me, Colton Miller's not. Well, he was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
who
was
would you?
4.
It was.
I don't know.
Tay-
Who would you swipe out
Tay,
for
Max,
Colton
Jay,
Miller? Or
for
who's people on this roster you'll put at number 4?
Carlson.
Probably, man. Like I don't know, man. Colton just like he's just so mid to me, man.
Yeah.
But maybe that just shows where our roster is.
I'm shocked how low Chandler Jones was.
At number 12?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was kind of surprised to see Tyree Wilson at 15.
I'm not. I could see the hype.
Where would you want him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't seen anything from him yet. So I mean,
Right.
I can't really put him.
Where'd you want him in the top 10?
I
Or you want him higher?
I give him
20. Yeah,
I mean,
we haven't seen him.
You know, just to, until we see what he can do. You
Well, it
know,
goes the same with Mayer, right? Mayer was up
same with
there, too.
Mayer, same with Marcus Epps. Like, what can they do with? We know what Marcus Epps could do when he was with the
Yeah,
Eagles.
I was a little shocked Marcus Epps was so down below, but then again, like, yeah.
But we gotta, Andre James gets no love. I'm gonna tell you something about Andre James. He's another guy that gets bullied.
Doesn't he?
That's
That's
another
what I'm saying.
guy that gets bullied.
Dog, it is him and Parham. At least Parham's a rookie, so I can get over. Man, but Andre James.
At least Parker ain't on here.
You know who's missing
Man,
from this?
see. Man, let me let me drink my
Why?
Mason jar.
I would have put Tillery on the list.
I like Tillery.
I would have put Tillery.
But where would you put Tillery at, and who would you take off?
Bilal Nichols.
Bilal Nichols.
Jesus Christ,
I
bro.
was gonna say Nichols. Yeah. Yeah. I would put Tillery instead, bro. I mean, aside from that,
I was kind of surprised to see
penalty-
Bilal Nichols' name up there, but I think they didn't want to put Tillery name up there after what he did. And
That's what
I
I'm
know
saying.
that
He had the
one mistake.
one fucking
That
penalty,
one
but-
mistake. Because
Yeah.
if you guys remember when we first signed him, he brought a spark to that D line.
He did. He did.
He brought a spark.
Mhm. And I know him from Notre Dame also as well, so that's why. But yeah,
That's your boy.
that's my boy too. Mhm.
But that's it for the episode 24 of Nothing But Raiders podcast. We was live over on Protect the Shield. Now, Leo, you gotta add your YouTube to the StreamYard as well, man.
Yeah, I'll do that. I just started making a couple of those videos. I was on my
But you was making like shorts and stuff.
Yeah, man. I
he
got a bunch of.
shout out to Leo getting it together, man. It's
I did
it's a
bunch of
grind,
pictures,
man. It's a grind.
bro, and
YouTube is
I remember
definitely a grind. Just imagine me with 2 YouTube channels, man.
You're a beast, bro. You're a beast.
I actually made another short, but a LA, because I'm gonna do one for each era. So that's where I got it. Because I made one for the LA Raider era and then the Oakland. And then when I was making the Oakland one, that's when I got all the hard emotional. So I was like, oh shit, okay. I just gotta finish those shorts.
I just followed you on the Nothing But Raiders Facebook, Chris, so you can add me to you can add that page to the group as well. The Nothing But Raiders, the Nothing But Raiders podcast on Facebook. I just followed your Protect the Podcast.
Okay, yeah, okay, cool. I was putting your name on there. Yeah, I'll do that.
So I mean, even though my name is, I have so many damn nicknames.
It holds weight in these streets, man.
I have so many nicknames, man. I got D Hop, I got Sonny, I got so much. Like, it's for all different things that I do. So I understand. I videographer. I do podcasting and sport. Yeah, I do. I feel like I got 1,000 arms. That's how I feel. Like, I'm stretched everywhere. Stretch Armstrong. Like, that's how I feel. But Chris, Leo, let them know where they can find you at, man, so we could be out of here and we can have some fun tomorrow. I mean, we'll have some fun. Probably do another podcast or later on in the week. But let them know about the Fan Talk Friday, man.
Yeah, so Fan Talk Friday, man. Every Friday, Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. We always have a good time. I try to rotate my guests. Have some people on there. I know Leo's been on there a couple times. Gotta get you on there, D. Gotta get you on there.
To Friday. What's up?
I'm gonna throw you on this week, man. There we go. So definitely make sure you guys subscribe. I just locked in an interview with our former fullback Rock Cartwright. He was with us for 2 years back in that U Jackson era, 2010, 2011. So I'm very excited to talk to him. That's not going to be live, so I'm actually interviewing him on Thursday, so I'll probably start dropping them the episodes probably Saturday, more than likely. And plus, I want to make sure that you guys hit me up on any of my socials or any question you'd want me to ask Rock, like things that you guys are thinking about. You guys always wondered.
He was on the team, the one that were 6-2 and then lost 6 and then we lost at the end, or we only won.
Yeah, so he was there both U Jackson years. So it was a year that we had
Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell, and then that following year when Campbell got hurt, and we had Palmer.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was there when Al Davis died. So I had so I was able to talk in good depth to U Jackson about what happened. But I think from a player standpoint, I'm very interested to get what his viewpoint. And plus, he was in that running back room with McFadden and them. Man, I want to know what that was like. I want to know what the practices was like. But yeah, definitely follow me if you guys aren't following, man. It's Protect the Shield podcast, man. On you can find me on all platforms, man.
And Leo, you plan on changing your name, bro, on the YouTube channel, or you want to keep it as that? Like, you want to keep your name and then add Raider to it? Because I know you can be doing or you're just doing all different types of stuff on your channel.
It might be all different stuff because it might be other sports too. Yeah, I was just talking to my boy about that, because he was the one who was going to join me to do that. So it might be other sports too, especially because we like soccer too. So the Gold Cup's coming up. So he was talking about doing some shit with that because it's local to us.
I mean, if you want to do the play-by-play is really big for soccer on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Even no matter what sports it is, if it's NFL, NBA, but you do games of play-by-plays, it's really big. I don't know if y'all saw. Saw Leo. He saw on my other channel when I was doing the NBA playoff, the numbers that I had in there.
Yeah.
In the NBA finals, I had like 42,000 views on play-by-plays.
Yeah, that was
per video.
I was on the road, I think, during one of the games, so that's how I watched the game. Was on
so
he was doing the play-by-play.
I was doing the actual play. I wasn't actually showing the game, but they could hear the audio, and I do my own personal play-by-play for it.
That's fire.
So I mean, I'll be doing that on this channel for the Raiders games. All the Raiders games will be on this channel, and all the rest of the NFL primetime games will be on the Darian Hopkins show
Yeah, that Raider game. I don't know if I could do. I would be too into the damn game.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, you
No.
wouldn't want me on yours, dog. You won't get no money. You won't make no money on my episode if I'm.
Listen, no. I'm surprised that I still have monetization on this channel from the games that I did last year.
Man,
I'm surprised the way I cursed and f-bombed and said all type. I said all types of things on here. My Philly lingo came out against Raider games. It was really bad. Yeah. It was really bad. YouTube don't end me now.
The young bull. You gotta be saying, "What up, young bull?"
Man, listen.
Oh, man, here.
They gotta win this John. They gotta win this John. But shout out to everybody that's in here, man. Raiders versus Broncos week 1 is going to be crazy. Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah, it is.
MC Raider, I gotta get you on here too, brother. I gotta get you on.
Gotta get MC Raider on here, but have the beep button ready, man. That boy be throwing F-bombs. Beep, beep, beep. That's my boy though. That's my dog.
It's all good, man. I try to keep it clean, but at the same time, you gotta be real with it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be real. Gotta be authentic.
Gotta be real with it. You gotta be authentic.
We're not supposed to drop F-bombs. I'd be doing that from time.
I mean, you can, don't drop them all the time. You gotta do it once in a blue, so YouTube doesn't catch it. Okay. So make sure y'all comment, like, this, subscribe to all the channel. Make sure y'all follow us at NBR Pod 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and I will have the link for y'all to get the new Charles Woodson and Bo Knows t-shirt on TeePublic. Make sure y'all go check those out. The Charles Woodson one is already up right now. I am going to upload the Bo Knows, but I got the final product for that, so I'm gonna upload that one tonight for y'all, because y'all did ask for some historic people to be on the t-shirts instead of Max Crosby and Devontae Adams and stuff like that. And I will be getting the Josh Jacobs one done, but I don't want to do it until he gets signed.
I know.
I don't want to do it until he gets signed. But I'm gonna just wait. Live show Friday. I have to keep it clean Friday for sure. Listen,
I was gonna go check him out actually at his show. I was gonna go to Jupiter or where he's gonna be at the brewery. I was gonna go, but I can't this Friday. I'm gonna be out of town. But next time I gotta catch him there. Because I'm close to MC Raider, actually. We're not that far away from each other.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. Same time, same place every week right here on the NBR podcast and on Protect the Shield. And once Leo get his channel on here, we'll be on all 3 channels, ladies and gentlemen. So we
Check me out
here,
Friday.
Y'all.
Check me out Friday, y'all.
Yep, Fan Talk Friday. I will definitely be in the building for that. So I will be sharing that as much as possible. When you make that flyer, send it to me ASAP so I can flood that bad boy.
I got you.
We out of here, y'all. Peace out. Sure. And we see y'all same time, same place, man. We out.